There are a number of different experiences that people tell us are a problem for them with regards to sleep, and we'll address these one by one in this video. Use whatever you feel applies to you. There'll be some things that are not relevant and other things that might seem relevant. So choose whatever seems most appropriate to your situation, and perhaps give one or two things a try and see if it helps to improve your sleep pattern. So the first one is getting off to sleep. So firstly, the body perhaps is not feeling tired or not feeling relaxed enough to be able to go to sleep. It may be that the mind is too active or there's a feeling of anxiety. It may be you've had too much earlier daytime sleep or fallen asleep early evening. Sometimes due to long-term sleep habits, or it could be related to physical discomfort. So there's a number of answers to this. Before we go on to those, just want to highlight that it's worth knowing that the human body works very much to a rhythm. So we are literally creatures of habit. So any change that you can make to establish a routine for sleep really can help. But it may take a little time for that new routine to be established. So some answers to difficulties getting off to sleep. Firstly and importantly, try to sleep and wake at the same time each day to establish that routine for the body. Even on weekends and when you've got less things happening, it's important to try and keep to a timetable so that your body gets into a rhythm. Get outdoors if you can, into natural daylight, particularly in the mornings, can be very helpful. Movement such as walking during the day for burning off energy or tiring the body can be very helpful. So drink any caffeinated drinks, that's teas, coffees, before midday if you can, as these can often stay in your system for quite a number of hours, even affecting your ability for deep sleep. And avoid eating a heavy meal at least 3 hours before bedtime. Prepare your mind and body for sleep. Take any pain relief that you may need. You might have a warm bath or a hot or milky drink or herbal tea. Read or listen to something that you find relaxing. Prepare with relaxation or breathing techniques that can help to relax you before sleeping, to slow your heart and breathing rates down in preparation for sleep. And that can be helpful for calming any anxiety that might cause you to wake late too. Avoid use of electronic devices at least 90 minutes before going to sleep, because these can waken the mind and wake you up further. And try to keep mobile phones out of the bedroom. You might try getting ready for bed in the early evening, so that you can go to bed as soon as you feel tired and not have to spend time preparing ready for bed that may waken you further. And adjust the bedroom in preparation for a good sleep. So that means often keeping it to a cool 18 degrees temperature. Ensure the room is darkened. Use any aids for comfort that you may need. Aromatherapy can be helpful, lavender as a pillow, or a pillow between the knees to support your hips, raising the head of the bed to help with breathing or pain. All of these things can help prepare the body for sleep. So the next issue that people sometimes report to us is to do with waking during the night and usually finding it difficult to go back to sleep afterwards. So there's a number of suggestions that we'd make for this. Firstly, avoid napping during the day if you're troubled by waking at night, if possible. If you sleep well at night and you need to nap during the day, that's not a problem. The only time that we would worry about napping during the day is if you're not sleeping at night. If you have to nap during the day, try to keep it short. If necessary, setting an alarm to wake yourself again after a short period, perhaps 20 minutes or so. Avoid alcohol. This is known to cause problems with sleep in two respects. Often people find it helps them get off to sleep easily, but it tends to cause people to wake during the night and find it difficult to settle again. It upsets the deep sleep pattern of our sleep cycle. Try to avoid clock watching in the night. This usually just causes frustration, leading you to feeling more awake. So if you are waking and you're awake for periods of time, try to avoid checking the time. Just try to go relax and go with the flow. If necessary, reassure yourself that you are safe in your bed. Worry is always about the future, and we tend to ruminate more about the past. Often these things happen during the night and the quiet hours, neither of which we can change, and neither of which need to be addressed right at this moment, at this time. So try to let go of those worries that can occur at night for that time. If you can, consciously and physically let go of any tension in the body. Use relaxation and breathing techniques for this, and if you need help with those, do ask. The hospice staff will be able to support you with those. Try to let go of any thoughts. Use breathing, visualization techniques, or distraction as necessary. And if you wake regularly at night, and it helps to do so, have a drink and a light snack ready at the bedside, so that you can deal with any problems of stomach feeling empty quickly and easily without having to wake too much to deal with it. If needing to toilet during the night, try reducing your fluids in the early evening from about 6 p.m. To see if that helps to reduce the number of times that you need to get up. But do remember to have extra fluids earlier in the day to keep up a good amount of fluids, which is important. If needing to toilet regularly at night, consider any aids that might be useful to help reduce your tiredness. For example, you might use a urinal bottle or commode by the bedside to save you having to wake up fully to walk through your home to get to the toilet. You might consider using continence pads or pants to reduce any worry about having an accident during the night, or even a convene or catheter if you have to get up many times at night. Ask about any additional aids for comfort if you're uncomfortable in bed and that's disturbing your sleep. If you're wide awake after about 30 minutes or so and you're not relaxed in bed, consider getting up and doing some relaxing activities until you feel ready to try to sleep again. So for example, you may make yourself a hot drink, read a relaxing book or magazine, listen to music or a podcast. You might write down any thoughts or ideas that need to be actioned later or that can be thrown away again the next day, but just getting thoughts off your mind. Avoid bright light or flickering images that are going to wake up or stimulate the brain further. So like the television, your mobile phone or tablet. And finally, if you're being disturbed or you're worried about disturbing a partner during the night, consider sleeping in separate rooms or a different bed if this feels right for you. Another problem that is raised with us from time to time is people feeling unrefreshed after having sleep. So there are a number of suggestions that we would make. Some of these repeat a little bit what you've heard earlier on, but apply in this situation particularly. So avoid oversleeping. That's daytime and or nighttime. Importantly, be patient and gentle with yourself in terms of your own expectations of yourself. Tiredness is a likely and a common symptom of your condition and also side effect of medication. So don't expect too much of yourself. So again, try to establish a regular routine of sleeping and waking at the same times each day. And try to maintain some gentle daily exercise and outdoors if possible. Ensure that you're drinking enough fluids during the daytime, because dehydration can considerably increase feelings of tiredness, or what's sometimes referred to as brain fog. And try to eat a healthy, plant-based diet with slow-release sugars, with complex carbohydrates. So these are things like unprocessed whole grains, oats, bread, potatoes, beans and lentils. So brown, generally the things that brown. These have got more slow-release carbohydrates, which give you energy over a prolonged period of time. And alternatively, avoiding high sugar drinks and snacks, which cause your blood sugars to raise and drop rapidly, which can make you feel more tired. Again, avoid caffeine after midday if you feel unrefreshed from sleep, and try to replace caffeine drink with a short period of resting if necessary. Trying to avoid napping if you can, because we don't want it to disturb your nighttime sleep, but perhaps having a rest. That feeling of tiredness may actually be the body indicating to you that you need to stop and have a rest. And finally, on this point, just a note to be aware that there is a potentially serious sleep disorder in which breathing repeatedly stops and starts. Something to be aware of. So if you snore loudly and feel tired even after a full night's sleep, you may have something called sleep apnea. You can find more information on this on the NHS website, www.nhs.uk, or you should see your GP if you're worried that this may be affecting you. So finally, before finishing, one last problem that people can mention is the problem of sleeping too much. So firstly, the point to make is if you are sleeping well at night, you do not need to worry about the need for additional sleep during the day, because this is what your body clearly needs. So it does not mean that you're lazy or failing, particularly if this is not your usual self or habit. It's just what you need at the moment. So be kind to yourself and go with it if you can. Getting more sleep than you need can make you feel more tired. So this can also sometimes be a sign of feeling overwhelmed and even wanting to avoid things because they feel difficult at the moment. So please don't be afraid to ask for help if you feel like this. It's certainly not a sign of weakness, and you may need a little bit of extra support right now, which the hospice is very well placed and is here to help. You may be napping during the day for longer periods than you need. As mentioned earlier, consider setting an alarm for 20 minutes or so to avoid you going into that deep sleep that's then difficult to wake from and can also disturb your nighttime sleep. So in summary, I hope that has been helpful, and please do experiment, be curious. If you feel that you can try one or two of these little changes, have a go, see if it makes a difference to your sleep or tiredness pattern. Do allow plenty of time for any changes. It may take some days or even a few weeks for you to notice any change. And finally, please try to keep a light mind about your sleep if you can. Fretting or worrying about sleep can tend to strengthen the difficulties with wakefulness. So try to stay as relaxed as possible about it. If you have any other questions about your sleep or relaxation strategies to help with winding down or calming your mind and your body, please do ask to speak to an occupational therapist by calling Pilgrims Hospice. And we offer a group support or one-to-one support if you need further information about managing tiredness or sleep. So you can ask any one of the Pilgrims team to refer you to occupational therapy. Thank you for listening.